Today on Breeze TV, the search for off-campus housing is already starting, but how will rent increases affect the community?
Then, how the war overseas is affecting those in the Valley.
Plus, don't forget to grab your Eclipse glasses to see the Ring of Fire while the Dukes take on Georgia Southern.
A new Edgar Allan Poe exhibit downtown that everyone is raving about.
Here on Festival Lawn with Phi Mu for Battle of the Bands.
Live from the Allison B. Parker Studio in the School of Media Arts and Design at James Madison University, this is Breeze TV.
Welcome back to Breeze TV. I'm Maggie Rickerby.
And I'm Zoe Mowry. Rent prices are on the rise in Harrisonburg. It's prime leasing time and apartments in the Friendly City are already in high demand. Emily McKay learns more about our local housing market and issues rising during the nation's ongoing housing crisis.
As the cost of apartments climb, people of all ages are feeling the pressure to get an apartment fast. Marley Ashcraft has worked in housing for 5 years, and she says they're feeling the demand.
I'm 25, and I don't see being able to own a home in my future. I've only ever lived in apartments, and unfortunately, y'all are probably around my age, if not younger. It's getting worse and worse as we go on. I think that we're being set up to fail, unfortunately.
Marley says she's concerned for how future residents of the Harrison will be able to afford rent with this yearly increase in prices.
And it's not just purchasing houses, but rent. Whether it's an apartment or it's a house, I've looked at the rent for houses here in Harrisonburg. And they're between $2,000 and $3,000, and what college kid can afford that on a part-time job?
Many apartment complexes are realizing the fast demand for apartments. Sunchase's market manager, Courtney Miller, says she sees the difference just from the last couple of years.
Last year, I know that we weren't leasing nearly as quickly as we are right now, and not just our community, but all of them.
Assistant Director of Off-Campus Life, Jeremy Hawkins, says this is a marketing tactic from housing corporations and not to panic.
Take your time before you sign. You can live in the nicest apartment in Harrisonburg, but if you don't like one of your roommates, you're never going to want to be there.
For more information on off-campus housing, you can read the Breeze Off-Campus Supplement online. Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Emily McKay.
Hispanic Heritage Month is celebrated all over the United States from September 15th to October 15th. Maddie Bynack shares the story of local Hispanic restaurants and how they celebrate culture year-round.
Claudia Kay is a proud co-owner of Magnolias, a beloved Hispanic-owned restaurant in downtown Harrisonburg.
Authentic taste for others to experience and enjoy is how we contribute as far as the Hispanic community.
Many other businesses in the area also share their belief in the importance of sharing and celebrating the uniqueness of their culture.
It's something different from other stores or you cannot find on Walmart and go. No, it's something fresh that we do here every day.
These businesses celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month by promoting diversity in the Friendly City and paving the way for other Hispanic-owned businesses.
It's one, as everyone says, the American dream, kind of lived out, and just also providing a role model for other Hispanics.
Madeline Bynack reporting for Breeze TV.
Several positions are still left unfilled after SGA's Class of 2027 election. Student Body President Nate Hazen says SGA is working to fill these holes by reaching out to the student body.
Vacancies is a natural occurrence, but we're really working on getting a word out on what we can do for students.
Despite these empty positions, SGA is still gaining new members, like Cole Nash, who says he's enthusiastic to take on the new challenge of being 2027's class president.
One of my goals is to, no matter how I'm feeling, try and make someone else or multiple people feel better about themselves and just get a start to their day by being positive.
Well, we have more coming up.
The JMU community mourns the lives lost in Israel on a candlelit quad.
Then, students debate policy for Virginia's 2nd district election.
We'll have more on Breeze TV Politics when we come back.
Bojangles, Cajun filet biscuit for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun Spice Chicken Breast Filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Breakfast so good, we serve it all day. Get the best chicken biscuit. The one, the only Cajun Filet Biscuit. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles. It's bow time.
It's bow time. It takes 49 steps to bake a fluffy made-from-scratch Bojangles biscuit. But to make it a country ham biscuit, it takes 50. Get a fresh buttermilk biscuit today with a slice of juicy country-style ham. It's bow time.
This is Breeze TV.
Good afternoon, JMU. I'm Regine Aranazari, and this is Breeze TV Politics. Israel has told the UN to evacuate over 1.1 million civilians in Gaza in the next 24 hours. This news comes as Israel declared war on Hamas in response to their deadly attack last week. Roughly 800 Palestinians and more than 1,300 Israelis have been killed in the conflict since Saturday. Of the victims, 27 have been identified as American citizens. The U.S. government is currently organizing flights for fleeing Americans and crafting a $2 billion aid package for Israel. Gaza has been cut off from food, water, and medical supplies amidst a total power blackout. The Jewish community in Harrisonburg are finding their own ways to unite during the war. JMU Hillel, Chabad House, and the Jewish fraternity AEPI held a candlelight vigil in solidarity with Israel last night. Over 200 students and community members stood in white and blue on the quad. Speakers from the Jewish organizations gathered in grief and shared personal testimonies. Joshua Young, contributor for Breeze TV, spoke on behalf of AEPI. He told the audience he has yet to hear from some of his family members in Israel. Directly impacted or not, Tim Miller says it's important to stand with students and each other in times of hardship.
Dealing with something this scary and this traumatic and doing it alone is even worse than doing it with others. So to see everyone, the over 200 people that were here tonight coming together, everyone had a community together, and that makes things like this that are so terrible more manageable for individuals because they don't have to be alone and manage it by themselves.
To hear more from the speakers, you can head to the Breeze's website. Breeze TV contributor Amelia Morgan is in studio with more details about the ongoing situation in Gaza and updates in this week's top stories in the nation.
Thanks, Regine. The U.S. and Qatar have agreed to prevent Iran from accessing $6 billion in funds that led to the release of 5 imprisoned Americans last month. The agreement comes in response to mounting criticism from Democrats and Republicans of Iran's support for Hamas's attack on Israel. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said there is, quote, no direct evidence that Iran was involved in the attack. Louisiana State Representative Steve Scalise has dropped out of the House Speaker race soon after he narrowly secured the nomination. Right-wing Republicans supporting Jim Jordan of Ohio kept Scalise from reaching the 217 votes needed for the speakership. However, it is unclear if Jordan will have a successful bid. President Biden has been interviewed by special counsel about his handling of classified documents from his tenure as a senator and vice president, a sign that the investigation is nearing an end. In other news, his son Hunter Biden was dismissed of an old gun possession charge as part of a collapsed plea deal. He pled not guilty earlier this month for violating measures that prevent drug users from obtaining firearms. That's your national news rundown. Back to you, Regine.
Thanks, Amelia. Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares spoke at JMU earlier this week at the Rockingham Triad rechartering ceremony. Triad is a coalition of law enforcement and senior organizations working to reduce crimes against senior citizens. Triad works to establish clear communication between the two groups and raise awareness of scams and frauds.
The best way to fight bad information is with good information. So what Triad in so many ways for our seniors is to make sure they have the right information. They can hear directly from law enforcement, for folks in our office about what to keep an eye out for, because the bad guys are ever vigilant.
The FBI reports that internet crime losses by elderly individuals have skyrocketed 85% between 2021 and 2022. Miyares emphasizes that the isolating effects of the pandemic have made senior citizens more vulnerable to these crimes. SGA hosted their annual Dukes debate on Tuesday. Students Daniel Green and Wesley Bednarczyk represented Virginia's 2nd District candidates, Democrat Kathy Beery and Republican incumbent Mark Obenshain. The two debated ideas ranging from Virginia's education system, women's reproductive rights, the Second Amendment, and other pressing issues. The event aims to ensure students are well informed before voting.
I think it's scary, or they think that their opinion doesn't matter, but I believe that since we're the next generation up, we gotta start early.
It is so important for students to be politically involved because our elected officials are ultimately accountable to the voters. And if we do not vote or make a referendum on their decision making, then they're able to just grab power for what they want. And that is not what our American democracy is supposed to be.
Both representatives met with each candidate prior to the debate to ensure accuracy. However, there was no representative for Libertarian candidate Joshua Huffman. The last day to register to vote or update your registration is this Monday, the 16th. If you're residing outside of your registered address, be sure to apply for a mail-in ballot by October 27th. That's all for Breeze TV Politics. Back to you all at the main desk.
Thanks, Regine. Next up on the Breeze TV Sports Desk,
football's defense walks away with major awards.
Then the Dukes are taking on a familiar 5th game foe, but will they rise to the occasion and get their 6th win?
Plus, volleyball strikes down the competition.
Don't leave after the half. We've got more coming up.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true, but it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
It's bow time.
Dude, we need gas.
Yo, we gotta get those Supremes.
We're not gonna make it.
It's bow time, baby.
So worth it, right? I'm glad y'all ran out of gas.
Boldly seasoned chicken Supremes with a biscuit, fixin', and drink. It's bow time.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk, your source for all things JMU sports. This is Colby Reese. This Tuesday, several members of the JMU football team collected mid-season honors, all amidst the program's 5-0 start. Duke's defensive end Jalen Green earned mid-season National Defensive Lineman of the Year by College Football Network. Green leads the team and Sun Belt Conference in both tackles for loss with 11 and sacks with 6.5. Green and D lineman James Carpenter earned mid-season All-American first-team honors, while defensive end Mikael Kamara and cornerback D'Angelo Pons received mid-season All-American honorable mentions by CFN. These award-winning efforts have heavily contributed to JMU's stout defense, one that is allowing an average of only 1.35 yards per carry and just under 37 rushing yards per game. JMU football is back. Following their off week, the team returns to the field to take on Georgia Southern. The Dukes are undefeated so far this season, while the Eagles come into Bridgeforth with a 4-1 record, also coming off a bye week. Last season, when these two teams faced off in Georgia, JMU was the 25th ranked team in the country and carried a 5-0 record, the same record they currently possess. The Eagles would beat the Dukes 45-38, ending JMU's unbeaten season. The group is using lessons from that loss to prepare for this Saturday's game and to avoid a repeat of last year's contest.
If you're feeling good about things right now, then you're losing ground. You're losing ground. Because the only way you get better is when you're dissatisfied and you're pushing and you're striving. And this is a constant battle about avoiding complacency.
In that game last season, the Eagles quarterback threw for 578 yards and 4 touchdowns. Georgia Southern is still a pass-heavy team, recording 337 passing yards per game and accumulating 472 yards total offensively. The Duke's pass defense has been a concerning area this season, allowing over 300 yards per contest. JMU's defensive line has played at an elite level to this point of the season and believe they will be an important factor in the outcome of tomorrow's game.
We all know that as a D-line, we have to get back there, put pressure on the quarterback, give him like a hard time to not throw the ball. Because like last year, we didn't really do a good job of that, putting pressure on the quarterback. He was able to get it out. So it's like we really got to make a big emphasis on conditioning the pocket, putting pressure on the quarterback and try to make it hard for him.
Tomorrow is a whiteout game for the Dukes. Kickoff is set for noon on ESPN2 from Bridgeford Stadium. An annual solar eclipse will happen 5 minutes before kickoff tomorrow. This eclipse forms when part of the moon's orbit is far away from Earth. The moon and sun will be exactly the same size, but since the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, the eclipse will not completely block out the sun, exposing a ring of sunlight. Planetarium director Gary Albright said that you should not look directly into the eclipse.
Well, the solar eclipse glasses that you can get, and we have some here in the planetarium, they block out, I don't know what percentage of the light, but it's a lot, 99.999% or something like that. So it reduces the amount of light, including filtering out the most dangerous wavelengths, which would be the ultraviolet wavelengths, which can cause more damage to your retina. And so with proper protection, you can look at the sun basically as long as you want.
Although it's supposed to rain during the game, which meteorologist Abby Allard will have more on later in the show, you should still pick up a pair of solar glasses to protect your eyes and enjoy the natural phenomena. Last night at the Convo Center, JMU volleyball swept Georgia State in 3 sets to improve their win streak to 7 matches and stay undefeated in Sun Belt play. The Dukes' overall record improves to 14-4 after outscoring the Panthers 59-42 in the match. Miette Veldman led the charge with 15 kills. The Dukes executed on many key points they knew would be important heading into this series against Georgia State.
We talked a lot about serving aggressively and trying to get Georgia State out of system, earning and giving points, so making sure that we were earning our points but not giving too many points. And then we talked a lot about serve receive and being able to stick the first ball contact so we could get our offense going.
The team also sported green attire last night in support of Mental Health Awareness Week, which was recognized from October 1st to October 7th. Game 2 will take place later today at the Convocation Center with the first serve set for 5 p.m. That's all from the World of Sports this week. Zoe and Maggie, back to you.
Thanks, Colby. Well, as we wrap things up on Breeze TV,
our reporter Zeta Sudduth is jamming out on Festival Lawn.
Then, One Harrisonburg Museum celebrates 20 years of play.
Plus, a spooky new exhibit takes you into the mind of iconic poet Edgar Allan Poe.
And don't break your telltale heart, because we'll be back with more after the break.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true. but it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
It's bow time. It takes 49 steps to bake a fluffy made-from-scratch Bojangles biscuit. But to make it a country ham biscuit, it takes 50. Get a fresh buttermilk biscuit today with a slice of juicy country-style ham. It's bow time.
This is Breeze TV.
A crowd is gathering on Festival Lawn for the Bonnemu Battle of the Bands event. Let's check in with reporter Zeta Sidith on the scene. Zeta?
Thanks, Maggie. I'm here with Skylar Huntley on Festival Lawn for Phi Mu's Battle of the Bands event to raise money for UVA Health's Children's Miracle Network Hospital. How did you get the inspiration for this event?
Yeah, so as we work with Children's Miracle Network hospitals, there's a ton of kids over there that are very enthusiastic about their artistical abilities. So last year at our Marathon event, we had one of our Miracle kids come out and get on stage and sing and dance. So I thought, what better than to implement a brand new event that's all about music and all about singing.
All right. What is your favorite part of this event?
My favorite part of this event is just finally seeing it come to life. I've been working on this since June. I've got a fantastic group of performers, fantastic group of supporters behind me, so seeing it finally all come together has just been so amazing today.
Why did you guys choose to donate to the UVA Health Children's Miracle Network?
So many of us in this chapter have such strong feelings towards those that are suffering medically, whether that's terminal illness, short-term illness, or all of that. All of us have been impacted by that to some degree in our life, whether it's personal, family, friends. So this is, for all of us, our heart is so deep into this cause, and that's why we work with UVA Health Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
Thank you so much. Phi Mu is going to be here on Festival Lawn until 5 p.m. Hope to see you there for Battle of the Bands. Back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, Zeta. Well, guess what, Dukes? We're at halftime, but we're not talking about football. It's midterm season. To relieve pressure from this semester, JMU hosts halftime on the quad for a second year in a row. Students munched on donuts and ice cream, played games, and heard a special performance from the Marching Royal Dukes.
Midterms have been really stressful. I've had lots of projects this week, but this has been a really nice break because all of us can come together and hang out and just forget about it for a couple of minutes, so it's nice.
JMU alumnus Xavier Williams started halftime on the quad last year. JMU says they hope to solidify the event as a yearly fall tradition.
City Council has declared October 14th as the Day of Play in Harrisonburg. To celebrate the Explore More Discovery Museum, reporter Alexa Bonilla discovered its impact on the community.
I'm here at the Explore More Discovery Museum in downtown Harrisonburg, where the museum is about to take off on its 20th year anniversary.
20 years ago, Lisa Scholl and her husband Brian decided to create a hands-on children's museum in Harrisonburg. They started with a few handmade exhibits and a whole community behind them.
This has been something that we started very slowly, taken the full 20 years to get to this 3-story building. That's the thing about the museum. I don't think they ever are complete. They always continue to change and grow with their community.
Throughout the years, Scholl has watched kids grow up in the museum and grown-ups become kids. Kids here have discovered their passions and maybe their future careers. The museum fosters a creative learning environment where kids can express themselves and learn problem-solving skills. Scholl has watched her own kids grow up with the museum.
Parents often say that the days are long and the years are short, and that's the way it feels like to me with the museum.
The Explore More Discovery Museum will celebrate its 20th birthday on Saturday with free admission, activities, and entertainment.
Reporting for Breeze TV, I am Alexa Bonilla.
If you're looking for something to do after the Day of Play, the Virginia Quilt Museum will get you into the Halloween season with a spooky twist on one of history's most famous writers. Sam Game and Lexi Burns got a first look at this immersive musical experience.
To put on his new Edgar Allan Poe theatrical experience,
Brian Cloudis knew he needed to go back to the roots of the iconic writer, and since Poe spent years of his life here, Cloudis expected Virginia to be a great location. He wasn't expecting, however, to find the perfect venue in an offhanded tour of the Virginia Quilt Museum.
You know, during the tour I found out this was actually an old Civil War hospital. So immediately my head goes to the creep factor.
The once morbid historical site is now transformed into an immersive experience, where audiences interact one-on-one with Poe. The setting of the show, an insane asylum. The guests, patients, alongside Poe as he grows more and more out of touch with reality, while his most famous characters appear around him.
Being like transported into his stories and have him playing characters in his own story and grappling with kind of like, you know, maybe what he was considering to be something so dark and so horrible, and seeing the beauty in that.
The audience kind of gets to see how just absolutely mad he's gone. So tapping into that is kind of, in like a morbid way, just really fun.
While innately historical, the show has a newfound context as history continues to repeat itself.
One of the stories is the Red Death, and I mean, we just went through a whole pandemic, so his stories are kind of evergreen.
With haunting nights ahead, including Friday the 13th and Halloween, the cast says they might expect a guest from the beyond, Edgar Allan Poe himself.
I always think that the spirits kind of do the work for you, so hopefully we'll have a little Poe spirit energy with us on October 13th, and you know, you never know what's around the corner.
That part you might just have to find out. The Edgar Allan Poe experience runs until Halloween. Reporting from the hallowed halls of the Virginia Quilt Museum in downtown Harrisonburg, alongside Lexi Burns, I'm Sam Game.
JMU students get 25% off their tickets when using the code JMU25 at checkout. Visit the Virginia Quilt Museum's website. Well, whatever your plans are for this weekend, you might need to plan ahead. Should you choose to do something inside or outside? Abby Allard may help you narrow it down. Abby, what's our weather looking like this weekend?
Thanks, Maggie. It's finally Friday, and we're looking at warmer temperatures today in Virginia. As we see in the northern part of the county, we're getting into the 70s, but it'll get cooler as you reach further south. And then this Saturday is game day against Georgia Southern, but unfortunately, it'll be raining during the game. At 12 p.m., it'll be 63 degrees. 1 p.m. it starts raining at 64 degrees and 65 degrees at 2 p.m. and 67 degrees at 3 p.m. And then the solar eclipse is also happening during the game. It starts at 11:55 a.m., 5 minutes before the game starts. Unfortunately, with the rain, it'll be a little bit cloudy, so you'll only be able to see about 30% of the eclipse. And then for this Sunday, temperatures will go back down. It'll be in the 50s. That's all I have for weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much, Abby, for that weather update. Well, Zoe, today is Friday the 13th.
I know, I'm so excited. I am obsessed with Halloween. I'm so happy it's Friday the 13th in October. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite joke is to say Halloween this year is on Friday the 13th, and everyone believes me.
Well, they shouldn't. But have you been feeling any bad luck today?
I don't think so. Hopefully not yet.
Yeah, I'm hoping to not get some bad luck. Gonna watch some scary movies tonight anyways. But we'll see you guys same time, same place next week.